All right, welcome back. This is part 3 of this big rod build. Give you an idea where we're at. I'll link part 1 and 2 in the description, but got the rod butt section blank. Got our grips, real seat on there, nice and tight. Got our guides. These guides, they're what you call acid wrapped, so they spiral around down the blank. Big old Alps guides, and then didn't show this on the last one, but we have our tip top. We have it on there, locked down, nice and tight. So that's where we're at so far. But with this, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the decorative portion. So what I'm gonna do is I usually stay away from wraps, just because they seem frustrating. But we're actually gonna give this rod a wrap. We're gonna wrap this front section right here. I don't know how long. We're gonna really just do it by feel here. But we're gonna wrap this front section. What we got is we have like a dark gray and then like a lighter gray, like a smoke gray and a white. And so one of the cool things about rod building is, you know, these rods are 100% unique. You know, no one's gonna have the exact rod that I'm making right now, unless you follow this like step by step and you're some kind of prodigy. Because I say that because the wrap I'm gonna do, I don't know what the name is for it. I just have an idea in my head of how we're gonna wrap this. So we're gonna get started with it. I'm not gonna, you know, it's not gonna be like, I don't know if it's a chevron, I don't know if it's some sort of open face wrap. I'm literally just winging it, and that's gonna be something cool and unique about this rod. It's gonna have one of a kind wrap. You know, as a builder, I have enough pride in what I'm building, and also I feel like I have a good enough aesthetic eye that if I look at it and I don't like it, I will cut it off, even if it takes 20 hours to put on there. We'll just cut it off and start over if we don't like it. But like I said, I have an idea in my head, so let's get started. We're just gonna work on wrapping this front section first, and then once we wrap that front section, that's really gonna decide what we're gonna do with the back end of it. So we'll get started. So what we're doing here is we're actually going to mark for 7.5 inches. We're going to mark every half inch. This is going to be the spot where we want our threads to cross at every single point right here. We're doing this because hopefully this is going to give us a really nice and even layout on the rod and make it look just more symmetrical, since there's going to be a lot of lines crossing each other. Now we're going to start with our darker gray here, and we are hitting every other dot on those half-inch marks all the way up. So as you can see, we're going to start, and what we'll eventually get into is, you'll see I'm just going to keep putting more layers and layers and layers of thread on until we get kind of a design going here that we're going to stick with. So as we're going back down to the real seat here with the thread, you'll see why those little dots are going to play such a big part in getting a nice clean look on this rod. With those little dots there, we can make sure that our string is going to be crossing and overlapping in the same point at an even interval all the way down the rod. It's going to give us a lot cleaner looking finish with this design. Now we're going to get some white D-thread and start stacking it on top of those 2 passes of dark gray. Once we put this white on here, it's really going to start to pop, and you'll start to see it really come together. Unfortunately, my camera, I was kind of moving my camera around, and it looks like I got the butt end of it kind of closest to the real seat, not the full length of the decorative section. So I will adjust it here in a second and get back to it, but you'll see this white really starts to pop on that black blank, and even with just that dark gray giving it a little bit of an accent underneath it, it's starting to look really good. Alright, so don't hate me, but I didn't have anything to do, and kind of like I get in these moods where I come out here and I'll just work for hours on the rod sometimes. I got in one of those moods and I came out here and I've completely forgot to film. But so what we have now, we got the wraps completely, got them completely closed off. Got our big hook keeper on there. This is going to be the first of probably a few coats of epoxy. And then also on the back end, what we got is just some marbling. Simple stuff, not super intricate at all. So with the marbling, what we're gonna do is once this levels out and dries, we're actually gonna come in and do like trim bands right here and right here. Simple stuff, simple decorative little bands. And then we'll put the logo and my logo in here somewhere. But right here, I'll kind of explain why we did it the way we have. So the rod itself, this wrap, there's a lot going on. So to tie off the wrap that's going on, we just did really simple trim band work. So nothing intricate on these, almost making this look soft right here, and this is like more complicated, give you a headache if you look at it too much kind of thing, and then simple again. But that's where we're at. I'll get with y'all whenever I do the trim bands up there. So to start it, we're actually just gonna wing it on distance right here, or kind of like where on the blank itself that we're starting it. But we're gonna wing this one kind of just where we think is a good area to start on it. We're gonna get this one on there, and then we'll actually measure it out for the second one that we put on. But very simple. This is just gonna give it a nice finished look right here. It's gonna cut off our marbling effect. It's gonna be a hard line of where this marbling effect, and the wrap itself down on the front end's got a whole lot going on, and the whole purpose of just doing something simple back here is I think the styles are gonna contrast really well on the rod. So these sections we just finished, I always call them trim bands, but that's not the name for them. What I'm doing now is actually trim bands. And what we're doing now is we're actually using a nail knot. It's kind of like the simplest way and easiest way to tie your trim bands. The most important part with this is whenever you're pulling it tight like you just saw, you want to make sure that none of your strings overlap. That's just going to cause like gaps and stuff in the thread. That's not going to look good when you finish. But we're going to finish doing these white trim bands right here to cut off that marbling design, and then we'll get with our decals. So what you see here is now we're going to use a piece of Scotch tape to transfer this decal from the kind of sticky adhesive back that it's on right now to the rod blank. The decal's got Kendall's name on it, got Beach Bomber 1.0. This is kind of the first model of rod that we've built and kind of brainstormed to try and be the perfect surf rod for running the beach and throwing it at bigger fish, or just hell, throwing big topwaters for trout. So we're going to use this Scotch tape to transfer it from the backing it's on now onto the rod blank, and then we will put my decal on next. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to get my Kardiac custom rod logo out, and we're going to see, you'll see me kind of debating on where to put it, but we're going to put it right above the rod butt here, above that white trim band. It's going to look really nice whenever you're holding it in your hand and you're looking down and you see that simple, clean logo right there. Alright, so we've reached the end of this build just about. We're one coat of epoxy away. I'll do some video of it, you know, we'll do it fading into the dark, and then I'll catch y'all at the very end of this video, right after this, probably outro. I'll do like a slow-mo breakdown of this rod and include pictures of it in the video just so you can see it a little bit better, but pretty happy with it right now. Very happy with it, actually. This is probably one of the most expensive builds I've taken on, and it also looks like it too, so that's what I'm more happy about. I think the one thing every rod builder kind of chases, or I don't know, I know it's every rod builder, I'm not going to take away credit from anyone, but I'm competitive. I like building nice stuff. I kind of get fixated on like certain designs at times, but this rod, for instance, we've kind of branched out. I stay away from wraps. We did an open wrap, but it's a kind of wrap still. We did a wrap, looks good, we kept it on there, that's how you know it's good. But you know, we branched out on this rod and very happy with how it turned out. I think Kendall's going to be very happy with it. This has been a long time coming, but like I said, we're going to get this last coat of epoxy on here and then let her sit overnight and come check her out in the morning and get some good pictures of her. So thank y'all for watching this video. Like I said, I'll get this last little bit and then I'll do some pictures and stuff. That way you can kind of see it up close, but thank y'all. So here's our completed build. Really enjoyed doing this. It's a lot of video being taken to do this. I think it was probably around 25 to 30 hours it actually took to make this. There's a lot of stuff you didn't see. Some stuff I forgot to film, but if you watched all three parts of these, I really want to thank y'all. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Hope you enjoy this rod. Really loved how it turned out, and I will catch y'all on the next video.